Hi everybody, this is Daron here for another Creative Tech tutorial. Today I would like to show you how to build a one knob controller in Ableton. So let's get started. Let's say I have this really fat beat and I would like to use it in a performance, but like instead of having lots of knobs to control like how much of several different effects I would be using on it, I want just one knob which can control multiple effects at the same time. So there's various ways to use it. One of the ways that I find is really interesting is to go into your audio effects section in Ableton and choose an audio effect rack. Drop this in here and it should look something like this for you. And let's just say, for instance, I would like to have an erosion effect on it to begin with. I drag and drop the erosion into here, and then I click this kind of like second circle down here is the show hide chain list. There. So now we'll see we've created a chain with an erosion effect on it. I'll just put a random setting. Let's say I would like to have one knob that starts off with an erosion, slowly starts to bring in a distortion, and then kind of fades into this blurred out reverb. So next thing I would do is I would add my saturator. Put my saturator in here. So I have a second chain of effects. So just put some kind of random blah-de-blah in there. So that's my second chain. And for my third chain, I would like to have a reverb. So drag a reverb on. Oh, what did I just do? Oops. Yep, sorry. Drag a reverb onto that. So my mouse is misbehaving. And now that I have my three effect chains up, I would like to be able to change the values so that I could use one knob to control it. So I will click on here where it says chain. And now we're able to see these kind of like parameters from 0 to 127, and we can map out where each chain effect would be. So for instance, this is our erosion effect. I don't want it to last the whole time on my knob. The knob is 0 to 127. So I'll say I only want it to last for like the first half, and I want it to slowly fade out. So you'll notice there are two lines here when you drag each one of these parameters out. The bottom one just shows that it's there, and then the top one kind of like affects the amount that is being sent to it. So by clicking, hovering my mouse at the top of this, you can see it kind of highlights and I drag it down. So essentially what this means now is that it'll play regularly for the first 8 values, then it'll slowly fade out before it just doesn't have it anymore at all. For our distortion here, I will keep it starting here. Let's say I want it to go all the way into the end until around something like this, and then fade out fast. And for my reverb, it's a little hard to drag onto sometimes. Drag here. I want it to start to fade in maybe around here. Put it like that. And let's just affect our reverb a little. Let's make it a really blurred out one. Wetness all the way up. Okay. So let me play our fat beat here. So you can hear right now, we're just hearing the erosion, chain number 1. There's this little blue line at the top here. As I move it, you can hear we've faded to the distortion. And now reverb. So this is great, but this is not really a knob yet. So let's go over here where we have our show hide macro controls. Click on that. And then go back and right click on this blue dot, say map to macro 1. So now you can see, and then I move this chain selector, it moves this blue dot. So there we go. We have one knob that can control the mix of several effects. And of course, these are chains, so you can add a bunch of stuff onto here. And I don't know if there's a limit to how many chains you can have at once, but I don't know. It's probably a lot. I don't think you'll probably hit it. So if you're wanting to perform, but you don't really have a lot of extra knobs, maybe hardware knobs on your MIDI controller, this is a great way of being able to have a lot of different effects at the same time. And that is the tutorial on how to one knob in Ableton.